The past 3 decades have been marked by rising shareholder activism in corporate governance. More institutional investors and hedge funds have been actively voicing their dissatisfaction with companies. And that dissatisfaction costs money. In 2016, these investors deployed more than $200 billion in activist campaigns against companies. Bad news for the people running them. A new paper by Michelle Lee, Abhinav Gupta, and Donald Hambrick looks at how shareholder unrest impacts career outcomes for CEOs. They conceptualize that unrest as more than just filing shareholder resolutions. Instead, they consider the scale and gravity of shareholder dissatisfaction with company practices. In the past, research has largely ignored the distinction between shareholder activism that is intended to increase shareholder wealth versus that which is intended to increase corporate social responsibility. That's why this paper starts from the premise that when it comes to assessing CEO performance or job difficulty, both forms of shareholder unrest should be considered. Wealth-oriented unrest usually happens when shareholders perceive that there is an opportunity for more shareholder value. It often represents an attack on management's fulfillment of their fiduciary duties. But when it happens, there is always plenty of other concrete data about company performance and prospects. As a result, wealth-oriented shareholder unrest conveys limited information beyond what is already available from other well-established indicators. By comparison, unrest related to a company's corporate social responsibility, or CSR, occurs in a domain where other performance data are not as abundant, legitimized, or accurate. When it arises, CSR shareholder unrest can be especially meaningful and informative for board members. This study finds that shareholder unrest related to CSR is more strongly associated with downward pay revisions and a higher likelihood of the CEO's dismissal, where wealth-oriented unrest is not. These results should prompt new thinking about the comparative relevance of distinct metrics the boards may use when assessing their CEOs. The study also finds that shareholder unrest not only affects the incumbent CEO, it also influences the career of the successor CEO. Incumbent CEOs are blamed for unrest that occurs on their watch, but incoming CEOs must in turn be compensated for the conditions their predecessors have had to endure. New CEOs receive pay premiums in proportion to the magnitude of pre-succession wealth and CSR-related unrest. Surprisingly, more CEOs voluntarily leave their roles because of high levels of wealth-oriented unrest rather than CSR-oriented unrest. That could be because wealth-oriented unrest is more burdensome, making them eager to escape it. These findings open new lines of inquiry in executive job demands theory about the possibility of disconnects between boards and CEOs, particularly regarding perceived job demands and the criteria for assessing executive effectiveness. Why might boards and CEOs place different weight on different indicators? And what are the implications of these disconnects? This study welcomes new discourse on these matters. Read the entire article in the February 2022 edition of the Academy of Management Journal. Direct any questions or comments to Michelle Lee by email at michelle.k.lee@queensu.ca.